गैजेट्स, चारों तरफ नए नए गैजेट्स, नए नए टेक आइटम्स, and in this show which is Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji, I try to bring in everything packed in every episode just for you guys. मतलब इतना मजा आता है इस शो में, and even in this episode I've got a couple of new things. साथ में मेरे पास में कुछ टिप्स हैं, कुछ ट्रिक्स हैं, कुछ फैक्ट्स हैं, कुछ Q&A भी है. Everything packed in. Guys, जल्दी से आगे बढ़ते हैं और देखते हैं कि what's about this week's Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji. Hello everyone, my name is Gaurav aka TG. जल्दी से आगे बढ़ते हैं, चलिए शुरू करते हैं. You know, in the field of gadgets, what's the most important stuff? It's always to catch up with what's happening, और ये सब आप कर सकते हैं in this section जहां पे मैं आपको बताने वाला हूं कि क्या कुछ नया नया लॉन्च हुआ, क्या कुछ नए अपडेट्स हुए आपके चारों तरफ. Just keep on watching News of the Week.
Poco launched the successor to their C55, the C65. C65 में है एक 6.74 इंच का HD Plus display with a 90 Hz refresh rate, running on a MediaTek Helio G85 chipset. It comes in two variants, 6 plus 128 and 8 plus 256. It has a 5000 mAh battery जिसको आप चार्ज कर सकते हैं with support for 18 watts of fast charging. According to Poco, ये फोन एक AI triple camera setup के साथ आता है on the back, but while the main camera is a 50 megapixel sensor, second sensor एक 2 megapixel macro है, and the third is what Poco is calling an auxiliary lens. MediaTek ने अपना फ्लैगशिप फोन प्रोसेसर Dimensity 9300 अनाउंस किया रिसेंटली. इस प्रोसेसर को MediaTek परफॉर्मेंस के लिए पुश कर रहा है. इसके ऑक्टा कोर CPU क्लस्टर में सारे कोर्स को हाई परफॉर्मेंस डिलीवर करने के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है. And because of this setup, it is being expected that the chip would perform in a very well optimized manner in multitasking and other intensive tasks जैसे कि video rendering. This chip will soon show up in flagship devices by makers like Vivo. OpenAI held their first Developers Day in San Francisco जहां पर ChatGPT 4 Turbo को अनाउंस किया गया. ये ज़्यादा पावरफुल है, ज़्यादा contextual है, can accept longer prompts and will be cheaper to run. They also released the Assistants API जिसको developers use कर सकते हैं custom AI apps develop करने के लिए. सोनी ने लॉन्च किया दुनिया का पहला फुल फ्रेम सेंसर कैमरा जो ग्लोबल शटर के साथ आता है, दी Alpha 9 Mark III. इसका 24.6 मेगापिक्सल का सेंसर 120 FPS तक की कैप्चर स्पीड ऑफर करता है फॉर फोटोज एंड 4K वीडियोज इन 120p कैप्चर फ्रेम रेट इन 10-bit color space. The global shutter will offer no distortion captures, thus making it very ideal for sports and fast-moving action. iQOO ने ऑफिशियली अनाउंस किया अपना 12 एंड 12 Pro. ये Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 बेस्ड फोन्स हैं एंड स्पेक्यूलेशंस हैं कि इनमें 16 GB ऑफ रैम तक ऑफर किया जा सकता है. It will also have the latest E7 display from Samsung, which will have high refresh rate and support for HDR10+ among other specs.
Friends, for the top story of the week, what I have for you is this newly launched Apple's iMac in 24 inches. आपको दिखने में सिमिलर लग सकता है. You might say कि ये तो शायद 2 साल पुराना है, but let me tell you, inside what we have is a new chip. Because जब ये 2 साल पहले लॉन्च हुआ था, the sleek all-in-one in a very variety of colorful colors, उस टाइम पे इसमें अंदर Apple ने पैक किया था Apple M1 chip. But now, because the new chips are out, this is now upgraded directly from the M1 to M3. Again, quite powerful, quite convenient, quite popular as well, because people who prefer a kind of all-in-one, ये एक अच्छा फिट हो जाता है. बहुत स्लीक है, आपको कीबोर्ड और माउस का पूरा एक कॉम्बो मिल जाता है, and powerful enough to do almost everything whatever you throw at it. So let's have a closer look और हम देखते हैं how exactly is this Apple's new iMac with M3 chip, and colors as always look really vibrant.
It doesn't get said as much as it should, but ये all-in-one form factor वाले computers are brilliant. With the M1 chip inside, the iMac had become a very capable all-in-one desktop computer. The chip was very capable, the screen really good, the OS very fluid, add the wireless Magic Mouse and the wireless Magic Keyboard, and bye-bye cables. With the 3nm process-based M3 chip, we are seeing better performance, better multitasking capabilities, and thus better productivity. This 11.5mm thin screen houses a 4.5K Retina display that supports the P3 wide color gamut. That's a billion colors and more. You get an M3 chip that runs optimized software really well. You get a 6-speaker sound system within the chassis that throws good audio and supports spatial audio enough for when you're sitting in work positions. And you have a system that even social media content creators can use happily. आपको एक हायर वेरिएंट लेना पड़ेगा अगर आपको एक्स्ट्रा USB 3 पोर्ट्स एंड गीगाबिट ईथरनेट पोर्ट्स चाहिए तो, बट थिंग्स लाइक Bluetooth 5.3 and Wi-Fi 6E are standard. Complaints do persist about the webcam and its quality, but bring into perspective the fact कि ये कॉल्स के लिए है और वीडियो रिकॉर्ड करने के लिए नहीं. iMac का प्राइमरी पर्पस है एप्पल के इकोसिस्टम में वहां फिट हो जाना जहां यूजर्स को MacBook Air या MacBook टाइप वाले वर्कलोड्स करने हैं, but on a bigger screen. A screen that can be bought in a choice of 7 hues that tilts to a choice of comfortable angles that is easy to pack and light to carry. With the M3 chip, the base variant of the iMac 2023 start करता है 134,900 on Apple India's official website, and if you bump this up to 24 gigabytes of unified memory and 2 terabytes of SSD storage, ये मशीन आपको 2,74,900 तक का पड़ेगा. And in cities like Delhi, deliveries 3rd week of November में start हो जाएंगी.
So now for a starting price of 1,34,900 rupees, I'm sure कि ये एक ऐसा इन्वेस्टमेंट होगा जो अगर आप करते हैं एक लंबे टाइम तक आपको एक अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस देने वाला है. बिकॉज आई हैव सीन पीपल यूजिंग देयर मैक्स एंड आई मैक्स फॉर ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 5, 6, 7, 8 years एट टाइम्स. तो यहाँ पे भी बिकॉज वी हैव अ ब्रांड न्यू चिप, वी हैव एन अमेजिंग सेट ऑफ हार्डवेयर. तो ये एक अच्छा प्रोडक्ट हो सकता है इफ यू आर समवन हु इज लुकिंग टू बाय एन ऑल इन वन फॉर ऑल योर कंप्यूटिंग नीड्स. फ्रेंड्स, यू नो व्हाट, इन दिस टेक स्पेस समटाइम्स चीजों को याद रखना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है ना कि कब क्या लॉन्च हुआ था, उसका नाम क्या था, उसके स्पेक्स क्या थे, जस्ट टू मेक थिंग्स फन एंड इजी. यू नो व्हाट गूगल डिड विद एंड्रॉइड? Basically, it was the idea of the project manager Ryan Gibson, जहां पे they started naming the different versions of Android on like desserts. तो स्टार्ट हुआ कपकेक के साथ, फिर कपकेक के बाद में आया डोनट, देन इक्लेयर, देन फ्रोयो, एंड आई मीन नो C D E F G, G से gingerbread, H for honeycomb, H I for ice cream sandwich, J for jelly bean, K for Kit Kat, you know, ये ऐसे पूरा बढ़ता रहा, मार्शमेलो, नूगट. एंड द आइडिया वाज कि लोग जो है वो एक फन वे में इसको याद कर पाए, वो लाइक डिफरेंट वर्जन्स ऑफ एंड्रॉइड, एंड समटाइम्स इट वाज रियली मीनिंगफुल एज वेल. For example, the Android 2.2 Froyo, the name Froyo was a frozen dessert, and the name was chosen because फोन जो है वो आपका पूरा OS अपडेट होने के बाद में काफी फास्ट और काफी स्नैपी फील होता था. सेम गोज विद एंड्रॉइड वर्जन 4.4 KitKat बिकॉज इट वाज यू नो मेड अफोर्डेबल टू द मासेस, एंड जस्ट लाइक KitKat, जस्ट लाइक यू नो अ वेरी अफोर्डेबल चॉकलेट. तो आइडिया पूरा यही था कि कैसे एक कुछ फन नाम ऐड किया जाए, बट देन इट एंडेड इन 2019 विद नूगट, और उसके बाद एंड्रॉइड नंबर स्कीम्स पे आ गया है, एंड्रॉइड 10, 11, 12, 13, and now with the 14. But sometimes people in the tech space really refer to these desserts names because एक अच्छी memory है. Did you know this, by the way? Because at times brands try naming their products as easy as possible just to hit the mass market. Now, as this tech space is fun, it's evolving way faster than we can imagine. और अभी हमारे पास में नया एक फोन जो आया है मार्केट में, this the all new OnePlus Open. I'm sure आप सभी ने इसको देखा होगा, and because it's a folding phone, I mean, it's a cool phone to try out. इसी के साथ साथ almost on the same lines एक और नया फोन लॉन्च हुआ था, Oppo ने लॉन्च किया था, the Find N3 Flip. Now we tried our hands with this new flip phone from Oppo. On paper, sounds good. I mean, it has an outside screen of 3.26 inches. अंदर हमारे पास में we have a 6.8 inch display which is quite big. The processor is Dimensity 9200. There's a triple rear cam setup with Hasselblad collaboration. Everything kind of sounds cool. But when we tried this phone, inside what we found was a huge load of pre-installed applications, that too in a phone जिसकी price almost 1,00,000 रुपए है. So the experience was not really up to the mark. My best would have been कि मैं आपको पूरा फोन जो है वो अच्छे से बताता, because I was expecting a lot from this phone, but in reality the experience was not really something which I feel comfortable about in a phone जो कि 1,00,000 रुपए का आता है. The hinge was super loose in a way जहाँ पे वो अपनी पोजीशन को होल्ड नहीं कर पा रहा है. The phone is falling flat. इसके अलावा inside the software or the way the phone was, especially the cover screen, because I mean Oppo claims that yes, you can run a few certain apps on this, but again the experience was not really something which you would want to try, especially while typing. तो ये सारी चीजें थी इस फोन में. Although it's a good thing that we are seeing all these new gadgets coming in. हर बार हमको कुछ ना कुछ नया और इंटरेस्टिंग मिलता है, but I think Oppo needs to learn from its own offering. ये जो phone है, the OnePlus Open, इसी का the global variant for this phone is from Oppo and it's called the Oppo Find N3. Now this phone is an amazing phone by all means. The hinge is fantastic, the design is cool, but the flip side of things, I mean if you talk about the Oppo N3 Flip, तो वहाँ पे I'm not sure the kind of experience that Oppo provided. एक बार आप देखो, let's have a closer look and see up close how exactly is this phone from Oppo.
It is the season of making displays smaller and foldable and bendable. Oppo's take on the same is the Find N3 Flip. ये एक 16.64 सेंटीमीटर टॉल फोन है जिसको आप 8.55 सेंटीमीटर्स में फोल्ड कर सकते हैं. This folding gets it 1.65 centimeters thick from an unfolded thickness of 0.78 centimeters. The LTPO main screen on the inside is FHD in resolution and can refresh at up to 120 Hz. और जो बाहर का कवर डिस्प्ले है वो 720 पिक्सल्स by 382 पिक्सल्स है रेजोल्यूशन में एंड मैक्स आउट करता है 60 हर्ट्ज ऑफ रिफ्रेश रेट पे. बात करते हैं इंटरनल्स की. द फोन रन्स ऑन द MediaTek Dimensity 9200 chipset with 12 GB of LPDDR5X RAM and 256 GB of UFS 4 storage. Very much like its cousins, इसमें भी 3 कैमरास हैं पीछे. एक 50 मेगापिक्सल का वाइड एंगल, एक 48 मेगापिक्सल का अल्ट्रा वाइड और एक 32 मेगापिक्सल्स का पोर्ट्रेट कैमरा. इन 3 कैमरास को आप एक्चुअली हाई क्वालिटी सेल्फीज लेने के लिए भी यूज कर सकते हैं. द फोन कम्स विद 2 बैटरीज इन सीरीज कनेक्शन, क्यूमुलेटिव कैपेसिटी बीइंग 4300 mAh with support for 44 watts of SuperVOOC flash charge.
You know what? Figure not, because it's just natural for brands to do things like these, but I sincerely hope that Oppo really does something amazing for the next iteration, but this one was not really up to the mark. But then again, I've got some amazing stuff for you. चिंता की बात नहीं है. अभी just break के बाद I'll talk about some cool tech tip जो कि आप use करेंगे तो बहुत मजा आएगा. At the same time, I'm going to answer all your questions in our segment Ask TG. Everything coming your way just after this short break. Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite show about gadgets and you know the name, it's Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji and मैं हर बार आपके लिए कुछ ना कुछ नया लेके आता ही हूँ. और अभी हम बात करते हैं एक नई टेक टिप के बारे में. You know, I am sure you spend majority of your time, if not on Instagram, then definitely on YouTube if you are online, because we watch lots and lots of content. But I'll tell you some interesting tips to make your experience even amazing. अगर आप YouTube देख रहे हैं, there are multiple keyboard shortcuts that you can use to enhance your experience. For example, if you just press M, it's going to instantly mute or unmute the video. You can use your arrow keys. The up and down would be serving as a volume control, तो आप volume कम ज़्यादा कर सकते हैं. The right and left keys would let you straight away skip 5 seconds, forward or backwards in the video. In fact, you can use your number keys to, imagine splitting a video in 10 equal parts of 10% each. तो अगर आपने 2 press किया, you'll straight away jump to 20% of the video. If you press 9, you'll jump to 90% of the video. तो ये काफी interesting tips हैं to make your experience amazing. And if you are watching it on a smartphone, you just press and hold the screen. वो 2x speed से temporarily play हो जाएगा till the time you have pressed and hold it on the screen. जैसे आप छोड़ देंगे, it will resume at the normal speed. I mean, amazing to save time at times, और हम precisely video में जहाँ चाहें वहाँ जाके जल्दी से जो चाहें वो देख सकते हैं. Okay, here we go. See, I'm always smiling before this because ये जो section है, this segment is my personal favorite and I kind of get to answer all your questions जो भी आपने पूछे होते हैं in our segment Ask TG. Let's see what all questions do we have for this week's episode. Quite an amazing question and I mean ये शायद एक ऐसा confusion है जो हम सभी में होता है कई बार whenever we buying a new product, especially smartphone, कि कौन सा लेना चाहिए, multiple options available. So for a budget of 10,000 rupees, I think I'm gonna recommend the OnePlus Nord CE3 Lite. Good battery, clean software, good camera experience. Otherwise, you can look at a couple of offerings coming in from Motorola. Camera might be of a bit compromise, but then the phones are good with the clean software. You can look at some options from Samsung as well, but I would say don't go for other offerings sometimes, because कहीं ना कहीं software is that experience जहाँ पे आपको मज़ा नहीं आएगा with all these junk applications. The updates sometimes are not really timely, and security also is of a questionable concern. So my first pick would be OnePlus Nord CE3 Lite. Pretty smart. Google काफी बार AI को यूज करता है, and even in this, it's all the power of AI and machine learning, जहाँ पे it's processing the voice almost in a live environment, and आपको सामने जो captions है वो दिख रहे हैं for you and for the other person. I mean, it makes life easier at times, and it's all the power of AI and on-device machine learning. Ideal would be a solid state drive. See, आप हार्ड ड्राइव से एक्सपैंड करोगे ना, यू विल नॉट गेट ग्रेट लोड टाइम्स, या जो पूरा एक्सपीरियंस रहेगा वो इतना अच्छा नहीं होगा. बट इफ यू यूज एन SSD, तो वहां पे यू विल गेट एन काइंड ऑफ efficient performance, एक अच्छी performance आपको मिलने वाली है. You will see much faster load times, and the overall gameplay would really be very good if you compare a solid state drive versus a traditional hard drive.
Hi Technical Guruji, this is Siddharth and I'm an editor by profession. I already have a MacBook M2 Max and I'm planning should I go for an M3 model or not.
Okay, so here's my honest take. If you really want the latest machine, if you have the budgets for them, please go ahead, do it, be happy. But let's say you don't have enough budgets, and I'm sure even the M2 Max, MacBook Pro 16 would be performing really good for you. So if you really want that 10-20% of extra boost in performance for that money, go ahead. Otherwise, usually what I've seen is, even for editors, even for people जहाँ पे वो काफ़ी heavy काम भी करते हैं, still they upgrade their machines like every minimum 2-3 years. They won't upgrade every year or every 6 months. So I'm sure your current MacBook is performing really well. So it would be wise if you can wait for some time and then upgrade maybe next year or next to next year. Guys, that's all from this week's Gadgets 360 with Technical Guruji, and I'm sure हर episode में आपको काफी मजा आता है. That's a given because I try compiling everything in one place. वैसे अगर आपके पास में कोई भी question है, if you have any feedback, any appreciation, you know the address. It's tg@ndtv.com. I look forward to read all your emails. मैं सारा पढ़ने वाला हूँ, and in the next episode I'll try incorporating even amazing things for you. So stay tuned. I'm gonna see you next week. That's all for this episode. Have a good day.